My 71-year-old neighbor asked me to find her a safe, comfortable car last spring. Budget, 12 grand. Every dealer tried to put her in a worn-out crossover with 130,000 miles. Instead, I found her a vehicle with a lower step-in height than her old Camry, doors that slide open at the push of a button, and an engine I'd trust to outlive both of us. She paid $10,800. It was a minivan, and the only reason it was that cheap is that nobody under 60 will be caught dead in one. Today, that's your advantage. After more than 2 decades in the shop, I can tell you the used minivan market in 2026 is the single biggest arbitrage opportunity for older buyers. Young families chase SUVs, empty nesters think minivans are too much car. So these things sit on lots, depreciating into the dirt, while they quietly happen to be the easiest vehicles in America to get in and out of with a bad hip, a stiff knee, or a walker in the back. I'm counting down my 3 favorites. Number 1 is the van I told my own parents to buy, and I'll go deepest on that one, including the exact inspection checklist I use before I let any customer sign paperwork. Let's get into it. Number 3, Mazda 5. Number 3 is the minivan most people forgot ever existed, and that amnesia is worth thousands of dollars to you. The Mazda 5 is the smallest minivan sold in America in the last 20 years. It's built on car bones, essentially a stretched Mazda 3 with 2 sliding doors and 6 seats. Mazda pulled it from the US market after 2015 because nobody bought it. Families said it was too small, and that's exactly why it's perfect for a retired couple. Think about what most seniors actually need. Not 8 seats, not a cargo bay you could park a golf cart in. You need a door opening you can walk through instead of climb through, a seat at hip height so you sit down into it instead of falling down into it, and a footprint short enough to park at the pharmacy without a spotter. The Mazda 5 is about 15 feet long, shorter than a Toyota Camry. It parks like a compact car. And those sliding doors mean you can open them fully in the tightest grocery store spot without dinging the car next to you or wrenching your shoulder around a regular door. Mechanically, this thing is refreshingly boring, and boring is the highest compliment I can give a used car. The 2012 to 2015 models run Mazda's 2.5-liter MZ-R 4-cylinder, port-injected, no turbo, no direct injection carbon buildup, chain-driven, so there's no timing belt service hanging over your head. It's paired with a conventional 5-speed automatic, no CVT. Let me say that again because it matters in this class. No continuously variable transmission. When a customer brings me a small people mover with a CVT and 120,000 miles, I start mentally preparing them for a $4,000 conversation. The Mazda 5's old-school automatic just keeps shifting. What do they cost? This is the part that still makes me shake my head. Clean 2013 to 2015 examples with reasonable miles are trading between $6,000 and $10,000 in most of the country right now. That's it. Sliding door convenience, car-like running costs, roughly 24 miles per gallon combined, and insurance priced like a compact for the cost of a decent riding mower and a vacation. My inspection checklist for the Mazda 5. First, listen to the front end over bumps during the test drive. These can wear sway bar end links and they'll clatter. It's a cheap fix, around $150, but use it to negotiate. Second, check for rust around the rear wheel arches if you're in a salt state. Mazdas of this era were not champions against corrosion. Surface bubbling means walk away. There are enough clean Southern cars out there. Third, verify the air conditioning blows genuinely cold at idle. Compressor replacement runs about $900, which is real money on a $7,000 van. Fourth, Make sure both sliding doors run smoothly on their tracks. These are manual doors on most trims. Simpler is better, with nothing electric to fail, but the tracks need to be clean and greased. Who should skip it? Anyone hauling grandkids in bulk. The third row is for children and short trips only. And if you regularly drive mountain passes fully loaded, the four-cylinder will feel worked. But for two people, a dog, and a Costco run, it might be the most sensible cheap vehicle in the country. And if the Mazda 5 is the forgotten minivan, this next one is the disrespected minivan. It's the punchline of car jokes, and it's got one of the best engines Detroit built this century. Number 2, Dodge Grand Caravan. I know, I can hear some of you groaning through the screen. Hear me out, because the numbers don't care about the badge. RepairPal rates the Grand Caravan at 4.0 out of 5 for reliability, second best out of 8 minivans, with owners visiting the shop for unscheduled repairs just 0.3 times per year, below the minivan average. Annual repair and maintenance costs average around $673, right in line with the segment. That's not my opinion. That's tracked data from millions of vehicles. The rental fleet reputation and the airport shuttle image have convinced everyone this van is junk, and the data says otherwise. Here's the engineering story. In 2011, Dodge threw out its aging V6 lineup and dropped in the 3.6-liter Pentastar, 283 horsepower, 260 pound-feet, chain-driven, naturally aspirated. That engine went on to power everything from the Jeep Wrangler to the Ram 1500, and Chrysler built millions of them. In my shop, a well-maintained Pentastar is a 250,000-mile engine. No drama. I have a customer with a 2014 at 232,000 miles, original engine, original transmission, who uses it to deliver flowers 6 days a week. His total repair spend in the 4 years I've serviced it, under $2,400, and half of that was tires and brakes. Now, the honest mechanic part, because I'm not here to sell you a fairy tale. 2 things to know. The very early Pentastars, 2011 to roughly 2013, had a known left cylinder head issue. You'd hear a ticking and see a misfire code on cylinder 2. Chrysler redesigned the head. So my rule is simple. Buy 2014 to 2020, and that concern largely disappears. Second, the 62TE 6-speed transmission is generally durable, but it lives and dies by its fluid. If the seller can't show a transmission service in the history, budget $250 to have it done the week you buy it. Cheap insurance. Why is this van perfect for seniors specifically? 3 reasons nobody talks about. 1. Stow and go. The second and third row seats fold flat into the floor with one hand. No wrestling 50-pound seats out of the van in your garage. When your kids need help moving furniture, or you're hauling a wheelchair, a walker, or a church rummage sale's worth of boxes, you flip the seats into the floor and you've got a cargo van. 2. The step-in height and door openings are among the friendliest in the industry. There's a reason the Grand Caravan is the single most common platform for professional wheelchair-accessible conversions in North America. The mobility industry chose this van on purpose. 3. Parts are everywhere and everyone can fix it. Dodge built these by the millions. Your small-town independent shop has done 100 of them. Nothing about it is exotic, and that shows up in your repair bills. Pricing is where it gets almost unfair. The nationwide average price for a used Grand Caravan is hovering around $11,000 to $12,000, and clean, 2017 to 2019, examples with under 90,000 miles regularly sell in the $10,000 to $14,000 range. A comparable Honda Odyssey of the same year? You're adding $8,000 to $10,000 for the badge, and frankly, for a more complicated van with its own well-documented transmission and infotainment headaches. Dodge killed the Grand Caravan after 2020, which means the newest ones are only about 6 years old, with modern safety equipment, backup cameras, and years of life left at Craigslist prices. Inspection checklist. First, check both power sliding doors and the power lift gate through several full cycles. Motors and latches are the most common gripe, and there were recalls on the sliding doors, so run the VIN and confirm recall work is done. Second, look underneath at the oil cooler area between the cylinder banks for seepage. The plastic oil cooler housing is a known pentastar leak point, about a $500 fix, and a fantastic negotiating chip. Third, cold start it. A brief tick that disappears is lifters warming up. A tick that stays on a 2011 to 2013 means walk away. Fourth, check the stow-and-go tubs under the floor for water or musty smells. That tells you if the van ever sat with a leak. That's number 2. Number 1, though, number 1 is the van I recommend. So often my customers think I'm on commission. I'm not. I just got tired of watching people pay Toyota prices for what this van gives you at 2/3 the money. And real quick, if this kind of no-nonsense advice is useful to you, hit subscribe. I make these videos so you don't have to learn the expensive way. Number 1, Kia Sedona. The best minivan value in America in 2026 is the one with the least prestigious badge on the hood, and I'll defend that statement with numbers. The third-generation Sedona, 2015 through 2021, is mechanically a near-twin philosophy to the Toyota approach everyone pays extra for. A naturally aspirated 3.3-liter Lambda, 2x6, 276 horsepower, chain-driven, no turbocharger, no CVT, bolted to a conventional torque converter automatic, 6-speed through 2018, 8-speed from 2019. This is the same engine family Kia and Hyundai put in the Sorento and the Telluride. It is a proven low-stress design, and in my shop, it has been quietly excellent for a decade. The data backs up what I see on the lift. The Sedona's average annual repair cost comes in around $495, nearly $200 cheaper per year than the average minivan, and when something does need attention, there's only about a 10% chance it's severe, which is better than the class average. Owners report unscheduled shop visits just 0.3 times a year. Cars.com consumers rate the 2018 model at 4.7 out of 5 for reliability. And on Carfax, you'll find owners casually mentioning 186,000 miles with only a few small issues. That matches my experience exactly. I've got a 2016 Sedona in my customer base with 178,000 miles. Lifetime repair list, 1 alternator, 1 set of front wheel bearings, brakes, and fluids. That's a decade of driving. Now the money. Edmunds currently shows used Sedonas averaging around $12,270, with the full national range running from roughly $4,500 for old high-milers up to about $17,500 for the newest loaded examples. Sit with that. A 2018 Sedona LX with 70,000 miles, V6 power, seating for up to 8, alloy wheels, backup camera, commonly sells for $12,000 to $14,000. I've seen fully loaded SX Limited models, the ones that stickered over $42,000 new with leather and every toy Kia made, selling in the mid-$15,000 range. A Toyota Sienna from the same year with similar miles? $22,000 to $26,000 all day long. A Honda Odyssey, similar story. You are looking at a discount of $8,000 to $10,000 for a van that, in my professional experience, does not need $8,000 to $10,000 more in repairs. It doesn't need $2,000 more in repairs. The gap is badge perception, nothing else. Why do I push this van at seniors specifically? Because Kia accidentally built the perfect retirement vehicle. The seating position is the sweet spot. You slide sideways onto the seat at hip height. My customer with 2 artificial knees told me the Sedona was the first vehicle in years she could enter without holding the door frame. The available power sliding doors and power liftgate mean no heavy pulling ever. You press a button on the key fob from 10 feet away and the van opens itself. Visibility out of the greenhouse is excellent, with big glass and thin-feeling pillars compared to modern SUVs that make you feel like you're peering out of a tank. And the ride is soft and quiet in the way that minivans do better than any crossover at any price. The interior is genuinely quiet enough to hold a conversation with the hearing aid turned down. One more senior-specific point, the controls. The 2015 to 2021 Sedona uses real buttons and real knobs for climate and radio. No hunting through touchscreen menus at 60 miles per hour. That sounds trivial until you've watched an 80-year-old try to change the fan speed in a brand new German SUV. Honest downsides, because there always are some. The third row doesn't fold into the floor like the Dodge's Stow and Go. It folds into a well, and the middle seats are heavy if you ever remove them. Fuel economy is about 20 combined, which is average for a V6 van and nothing to brag about. The 2015 to 2018 6-speed can feel a little sleepy on downshifts, sluggish, not broken. There's a difference. And on warranty, Kia's famous 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage applies in full to the original owner. As a second owner, you get reduced coverage, so don't let a salesman wave the 10-year number at you on a used van. The real warranty on a used Sedona is the engineering, and the engineering is good. Here is my full inspection checklist before you buy one. First, run the VIN for open recalls and confirm they've been done. It takes 2 minutes on the NHTSA website and costs nothing. Second, start it cold and listen for 30 seconds. The Lambda 5.6 should settle into a smooth, even idle almost immediately. Any prolonged rattle at startup, keep shopping. There are plenty of these vans. Third, check the oil condition and demand maintenance records. This engine is not fragile, but like any modern engine, it rewards regular oil changes and punishes neglect. A Sedona with documented oil changes every 5,000 miles is a different vehicle than one that saw a shop twice in 8 years. Fourth, cycle both power sliding doors from the fob, the dash buttons, and the door handles. Motors are the most common age-related repair, around $400 to $600 a side if they act up. Fifth, test every seat position and the power liftgate. Sixth, my favorite pro tip, and it applies double for this van. Look for one already owned by an older couple. Sedonas were popular with retirees the first time around. A garage-kept, dealer-serviced 55,000-mile Sedona owned by a retired school teacher is, functionally, a new vehicle at a 70% discount. They exist. I find them for customers every few months. So there's the countdown. The Mazda 5, the little forgotten van that parks like a Camry and costs less than a used golf cart membership. The Dodge Grand Caravan, the most disrespected 250,000-mile drivetrain in America, with seats that vanish into the floor. And the Kia Sedona, the closest thing to Toyota engineering at Craigslist money that exists in 2026. Notice what all three have in common. No turbos, no continuously variable transmissions, sliding doors, hip height seats, dirt cheap parts, Every one of them punished by the market for reasons that have nothing to do with how they'll treat you: a forgotten nameplate, a rental fleet stigma, a badge people still judge from 20 years ago. The market snobbery is your retirement fund's best friend. Next time someone tells you minivans are for soccer moms, remember, the soccer moms moved on to sport utility vehicles and left the best deals in the used market sitting right there for the people smart enough to grab them. And one last thing, we put together 5 practical guides covering everything you need to know before and after buying a used car. You can currently get the complete bundle at a major discount through the link in the description.